Good heavens, that's a lot of stuff.
All right.
Don't get you agita, Bob, but
You're giving him more paper.
Just in a bin.
there's a Vicky Donahoe.
Oh, I like Vicky
Randy's
Donahoe.
right down there.
I just feel like I don't give it enough appreciation. This is probably.
Are you live streaming this too? It's so cool that you guys can do that. It's amazing what we can do now. No, I can't because I'm. Oh, thank you. Oh, this is that letter that he dropped off from last time.
Is there an honorable Gigi Cousin Moffitt in there?
Barely. Barely. Barely.
Sure.
What's that?
Just giving it to the right person.
Water. Yeah. I see her walking all over and I keep, like you're talking about being cold and I see her walking, I'm like, Vicky, get in the car, please get in the car, you're making me crazy. And then she's like, I like walking, the doctor says if I'm supposed to live another 10 years, I'm like, Vicky, it's 17 degrees, get in the car.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
right, no argument, Vicky, get in the car.
Yeah.
You know, and she, God bless her. But
Yeah, there are a couple
I
times.
love the handwritten one.
When she's outside.
Okay, so we could commodify the eyes. I've got three things I want to go through with you guys tonight, which I think will be a lot shorter than the hour we have blocked. One is I saw on the agenda for the council meeting tonight, re-upping with our auditor for another 3 years. I think that's something we should probably do 1 year, just for next year.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
gonna do a 3-year engagement, but I was like, wanted to. Well, I ran it past Walker, first of all, he said you can't do
Can't go past 2 years. You can't go past 2 years.
you can't have a
Okay.
multi-year engagement, so I asked back for a 1-year engagement, and then I looked around, and just real preliminary, what some other rates are from some competing firms.
That's what I wanted to talk about was,
Is it
I've
the
never,
ballpark?
I've never seen an audit this inexpensive, and then we have crazy.
Yeah.
Well, they bid on the rates, the board I'm on the calendar. There's 5 bids, 4 of them were, 17, 18,000.
Okay.
And one was 11,000, but when we started looking at the hours they designated as, didn't seem like it was apples to apples on that.
But Sean, what kind of feedback did you get from the other ones in terms of services, time?
The rates were competitive. Their not to exceed quote is $27,500. They billed us about 22,000 and change this year, and that
Wow.
included an additional engagement above and beyond the audit that they performed for us mid-year, which was QuickBooks, just a big QuickBooks housekeeping push that we
Yeah.
needed to get
Yeah.
done. And that amounted to about $1,800 of additional services. So they got our audit done this year for under this number. And, Greg, who's the partner, has said we'll do, that's a not to exceed number, so they'll just bill us at the rates. I think that the engagement, first of all, I've been really pleased with them so far. Do I want to keep going with the same providers ad infinitum? No, obviously we need to just continually refresh and see if the rates compare favorably, if we're getting the best deal for the borough. So I'd like to do that again.
That was more my question was, for
Yeah.
the committee also, is I know this is part of our overall effort to
Yeah.
get everything out, and to make sure we're getting a good deal on things. It sounds like you've done that in a soft way here. I'm just thinking about timelines. It's good to have somebody engaged when you're coming out of the year end, so they can do the pre-work, get things done quickly. The thing we found with our audit the last couple of years is they have to wait for the MMO, and some pension accounting stuff anyway. So they get all our stuff done and then we're waiting like another 3 months
Yeah,
until
right.
we issue the audit report. I mean, is it?
We're already engaging with them.
Yeah,
So I think time.
they're probably already doing their pre-work for your end, right?
We're at least scheduling
Yeah.
at this point. We're putting dates on our calendar in March, and the big work starts in the first week of
Yeah.
March. Yeah, I'm happy with them for next year. Would like to, revisit the engagement and the possibility of going with someone else earlier in the cycle next year.
Yeah.
Start talking about it in September when we get our financial statement from them and we get some proposals in and really, do some more diligence next year.
Yeah.
One of the theories is always you stay with the same people
Yeah.
because they're established and have knowledge of what you're doing.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
switch
Or-
every 2 to 4 years.
Right,
Because
right,
then,
right.
just in case either something is consistent, there's the, well, what about this question that,
The other feedback, on that note, Bob, the other feedback I got from someone who does professional municipal audits but wasn't selling me, it's a personal friend of mine, said it's usually, it's a red flag if you're changing your auditors as well, every 2 or 3 years.
It's that online.
She said as part of her firm's practice, they'll be a little wary of that situation and actually bid a little higher. So there's some sort of sweet spot that I don't know what it is.
well, because they know they're probably, that's their policy, they're only in it for 2 years.
Years, right.
For somebody, so that's the other thought process.
And they do better, an auditor will do better on their margin with you in the subsequent years. I was told many times when Melee started with us that they lost money working with Borough the first year,
Yeah.
year and a half. Because they started with paper.
Yeah, not my fault, not my fault. And this year's audit.
Yeah,
Hopefully it wasn't
expensive.
balanced.
If you
Discuss
take
it.
the professional fees out and it's like a little over 20,000, that's actually quite a bit lower, I think, than it was in the prior 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
As we've gotten things cleaner and tighter, it takes them less long to do some
Right.
of the work.
Right.
So,
I still think there's a bit of efficiency that the office can deliver to them.
Yeah.
The volume of Justin journal entries that got done last time around was really high.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's
Is it a goal of yours and Leslie's this year to try to examine all the feedback from last year, the adjusting entries, and get those done before, to the best of your ability before the review?
Yeah, we'll see as much of it we can do, but I think going forward, there's gonna be a huge amount of work done in January, because we have to go through our charter accounts has to be aligned with our new budget.
Right.
It's not a huge, we're not a huge
Yeah, yeah.
operation. I'm talking about a couple hundred lines, but we're gonna have to go through line by line and make sure that the chart is set up correctly and that whenever new expenses come up, I'm working with the bookkeeper to know what they should be booked against. So that's one of the problems too. It gets booked somewhere and you're looking, well, why are we booking a tree maintenance cost against playground equipment?
Right, okay.
And it wasn't as clear in the old chart of accounts by the names of the accounts, really what it should be.
Yeah.
What
So
types of expenditures
A lot of
are going
adjusting
on.
entries to move stuff in the right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, I'd be comfortable given the rate that we ended up paying this year for it and likely efficiencies next year. I'm signing them up for another year and then mid-year to September probably at the latest is when I'd say we should get proposals for the 2018.
I agree, that's a better timeline.
Okay.
That, given that they've been delivering the audit after waiting for this, for the Commonwealth in like August the last couple of years.
Right.
Okay. So
Yeah,
I'm
right.
keeping my notes on agendas for next year, and let's make it, do you think the August meeting would be too soon, because they'll be finishing things up, or could we do it?
Well, you wanna put it out for bid, you need to decide.
Yeah.
Right.
August. July, those questions.
Okay.
Yeah, you're probably right. We can have those meetings back. Give it over
Everything
before
we
you
think
go into
we're
September.
doing too
I know,
early,
I know.
Look at the
I'm with
trash
you.
contract, that
I'm
took
with
us
you. I'm I'm
Our
with
goal
you.
was to have that in place in July.
I proposed a calendar, I'm gonna fine tune it again and send it out to everybody and fix it again.
So here's what I'm putting in the stack for next year. June, we'll have the audit contract for bid. August, meet with qualified bidders, and September, make a final recommendation.
Yeah, that's a good schedule. We can meet that.
Okay, that was one item. So are we good with, in the meantime though, recommending to council engaging Mary for 2017? And then forming this schedule? Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Item 2, boards and commission interviews. We said early January around the COGS meeting, but let's actually work together here and pick a day.
Round
Yeah,
the
let's
clock.
pick a day, and I did not follow up yet with our existing applicants, just to let them know what the status is, but I will.
How is the, for this group, what do you guys think about the first week of January?
I think we should do that, it's a good week for me.
Less likely that people are traveling that week, I think.
We do it before, we should do it.
Do we have a meeting on the 4th? So I'm not there,
Yeah,
it's
fourth.
17 yet.
I think it's the 4th, yeah.
Yeah, the first one.
So public safety is gonna has asked to ditch out of that our early meeting then and move it to the 11th because we're in that sort of waiting for information to come back phase of things and not gonna.
You sent that out as reply with.
Only with objections.
With regrets.
Yep, only if you were objecting to the change. So we'll give them another couple hours and then.
But I would say, look, we have a lot of interviews to do that day.
Yeah.
So why don't we do it on Thursday the 5th at like 6:30 or 6? Let's try to do it at 6, so it's easier on these guys.
Yeah.
And we probably have about 2.5 hours worth of interviews.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, is that okay? Can we
So
go-
Thursday, right?
Can we even go earlier on the chance that, when's the earliest that?
I'm okay with it.
I am too.
I have to look, I don't, let me look.
Let's target 5:30.
5 is the start at
All right, put
5:30.
it down. Better have a late lunch, Sean.
Does that day work? Thursday the 5th?
Yeah.
That way, if you put out the, tomorrow, or the next day, you put out the thing, anybody that can't make it, maybe we'll make an accommodation.
Yeah, you can go forward, right.
Forward the day, get off of that.
Or at worst, if you have a couple stragglers, catch them.
Yeah, right.
Early next week. So, catch them. Okay, so Thursday the 5th, starting at 5:30? Check my own calendar.
I know, it's.
Make sure I'm not.
I don't know, what did I say? I could have said anything.
Yeah, that's fine.
Who attends that?
There's our public interviews.
Yeah.
But who does the interview? As many of council as are available?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
you
not,
just
try
go-
to, try to,
It's not our
you try to get a
committees.
commitment from as many
Yeah.
council people. We weren't afraid of having a quorum, we might ask somebody else. But we'll ask, we'll ask at the 7:30 meeting.
I know, we've never had, well,
And
2.5
we
years,
have-
we've never had a forum that I can remember.
For that, no, yeah, this room.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, we'll see what.
I see.
But Barbara's schedule was public meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's, and then what we normally do, which I think is a good tradition, is just the people who are being interviewed, for if it's competing posts, we ask the people who are not being, who are competing not to be the interview of the other people.
Yeah, just out of courtesy. Yep, okay, so that was item 2. All set, Sean? Reach out to people?
Just reworking on it.
Yeah,
And then
tomorrow's task list.
All right. The last one, which is going to be a little bit more of a working thingy, is to go through next year and calendar our meetings and
Right.
put stuff on the agenda, thinking about what happened this year and stacking it backward.
Right.
To make sure we've actually got something for each of these.
Well, one thing we didn't do this year, is we never did a review.
I know, that's a
Yeah.
Which maybe would be smart to try to do that again. Do you think the beginning of January will be easier or harder for you this year? There's no budget to do.
Part of what?
Yeah, in the last couple of weeks of trying to get the budget and everything else wrapped.
It's all relative, it's all relative.
So you want to sit down and have a review?
Objective setting for, like, review of this year, objective
Yeah.
setting for next year.
Yeah.
So, and actually, I was gonna say, I don't have anything else for like the immediate January agenda for this committee, so that could take the place of our January committee meeting, unless you guys have something specific you want to put on there. Okay. No committee meeting.
Right.
How are you documenting your scheduling out right now?
Putting it in an Excel spreadsheet, just like notes. Is there a better way for me to?
I sent the two of you a shared calendar that you asked me to create like a month ago, which I didn't do, and then I did like in a little while. And then I sent it to you.
In SharePoint?
Yes, I believe so. And, we backed up into, you said like May, whatever it was, you said, you know, you wanted us to start some of the processes earlier. The ones that I had in notes, I did include in that.
You
And
did,
then,
okay. Let's start with that.
but this I don't have clearly. I didn't have anything for January because
Yeah.
we weren't anywhere near January.
Oh, that's right. Yes, you did.
Yeah, it's okay, don't worry about it.
Where?
I know, it's overwhelming.
No, sorry, I was
Yeah.
picturing a calendar, but I think you did it as a.
You did a shared calendar.
Oh, did I? Yeah, I did a shared calendar, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Hang on a second, I know you
but
said.
only with the, like I said, the information you could ask me to put on there for the, I'll say, August through December information that you asked me to include.
Yeah, it's a budget.
Yeah, the budget
stuff.
crunch part, right. But I, that's
So
what happened to
August-
me, like all morning.
August, September 2017?
Yeah.
I don't see any items.
Oh, no.
On that shared calendar.
Oh, well, two over.
But I do have the shared calendar feeding.
Well, it's easy enough to go back.
Okay. So when would we want, let's think about one thing we just did. We had our first meeting in way too long with pension folks.
Yeah. You mean the trustees? Yeah, okay.
I was thinking, could we have them in twice next year, sort of after their quarterly report is
Yeah, right.
ready, so like the April and
October.
not
Yeah.
October.
The actuary or the pension fund
Pension
trustees?
fund.
Trustees.
Okay.
I think April's a good idea for sure. Yeah.
April and July maybe, just to see how things are tracking.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
And maybe have each time pick a representative.
Yeah, right, right.
Everybody in there.
That's a good idea.
Were you keeping your same recurrent date and time for finance next year?
Yes, is that okay?
Is council keeping it same
That's a good question.
first and third?
Yes.
We're targeting that, we don't like, get that work, does that work for you guys? For you?
It's been working for us. I mean, my only feedback is I
Mhm.
don't like Monday meetings
Okay.
because
Okay,
it
okay.
creeps into the weekend
Oh, right.
for Tuesdays
Okay.
and
Yeah,
Wednesdays.
yeah, right, okay, okay,
Don't like working on agendas and things on Sunday.
right.
Which inevitably happens.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah, I was mostly trying to land it on a day where.
Could we make it Wednesday and Wednesday?
That's my 2 cents.
Challenge was, we wanted to make sure we didn't run on the same day in case somebody had a class.
Right, okay.
So maybe we could make it Tuesday and Tuesday and.
And then 2 weeks later, the Wednesday. Think about it, think it through.
Because the Mondays you also run into the federal holidays, that was only.
Oh, that's true, right.
Whatever it is though.
Oh, I missed the
whatever
Quinn days where that was included for a reason.
We can say though that regardless of what day the business meeting happens,
It's
you're
not
planning
for a
on
business
doing
meeting.
it at a 6:30.
Yeah, you'll just, we should choose that, so we could, or what's the schedule to get the calendar? Tomorrow, do we do a print mail or a calendar?
Yeah, yeah.
So that needs to be done.
Well, we got a newsletter.
Right.
That's what I'm at, and that's, is it done yet, or?
No, it's not done yet.
So when,
It's not done yet. Well, it's good. It used to be like the big thing, like the calendar, you know, that
well,
thing.
because you want to, it's nice to have it there at the beginning of the year. But at the beginning of the year.
Okay, so I've got pension fund trustees on here, I got our auditor.
Oh, yeah, let's see what
information on here. Do we have, I think we have other boards and commissions people coming up for expiration at the end of next year.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to have that in the cycle also.
Right.
We'll probably wanna do that earlier.
Yeah, do it earlier, that's before you get into budget season, because you make yourself nuts. Or making me nuts, maybe, that's just really it.
We won't get any attention,
You
because it's
know-
not coming up.
No, I think we should post it beginning of October.
Yeah.
And then interview,
I'm sorry.
an interview early November. And that gives us, because there's always issues. So there's always something where you say, you know what, let's either give somebody an extra chance for an interview, we don't
Right.
have people and want to read. So if we post it, so you should put it on our September schedule to start
Yep.
interview process. for
So
boards and
I'll put on a
commissions.
September special post,
Board and
notice.
commission opening.
Yeah, boards and commissions.
Wow.
But
Yeah,
that's,
you'll have all sorts of people next year.
Yeah.
And then review applications at the October.
Isn't that what we said? What did you
No,
just say?
no,
You just said it.
if you put it out,
Do a
Gone.
meeting in early
if
November.
you have to give 30 days notice to
Yeah.
the public, so if October 1st, I mean, still pushing it kind of late when it comes down to it, so you post it October 1st, October 30th, you have your deadline, and then the first 2 weeks in November, which is pretty busy weeks because it's a pretty holiday.
Yeah.
So we might even post it September.
If you're worried
1st.
about timing and all that, there's nothing in the borough code about
Right.
time. The only thing you have to do is someone has to make a motion and council has to vote on an appointment.
Right.
You don't
There's
have
no
to have
process,
interviews,
there's nothing
you
in the
don't have to
interviews.
advertise
Yeah,
anything.
no, we're not saying
So,
you shouldn't, but there's nothing that says,
it has to be X amount of days,
Right.
yeah.
But, okay, so post in September,
Yeah.
interview early November, either inside or outside of this committee's.
yeah, right.
Or outside, that's a bunch of people next year.
Like Shamrock, Center, 12.
Yeah. And then working the budget back.
Mm-hmm.
This meeting, the only reason for this meeting is essentially this agenda setting, which let's do that at an earlier meeting next year, and not have a December meeting, because we'll have the budget ready to go by then.
Talking my language, Charlie.
Yeah, I think one of the big process improvements for my management of the budget process next year is going to be setting expectations and deadlines.
Yep.
Starting to cycle through committees and staff in a way that
Right.
says, hey, by this date,
Yeah.
it has to be in the budget that's, let's talk about it now. It has to be in the budget presented to
Right.
council at the October meeting. I think that's an appropriate milestone to have to meet.
I think that's right.
It's a good target.
Yeah.
So September budget meeting would be when we review your draft budget, right?
No,
No.
you're not gonna get a draft budget in September.
October.
Yeah.
But then, and that's when it gets presented to a committee
Yeah.
and then to full council. In November when it's when it would be reviewed
Yeah.
prior to being released to the.
Yeah, what did you all think of this year's? I mean, October being the meeting that you get it, November being the meeting that it goes out to the public, and December being our adoption.
It'll work. I think we could have a longer meeting scheduled for.
Yeah, I felt like when we got it, it was like, boom, you know, I'm a big believer in getting something, going through it, and then discussing it in a meeting as opposed to getting it in a meeting. So it really pushed it back for me.
So what was wrong then about getting it at the October business meeting and did not
So we
enough
didn't discuss it,
time
so-
at the November caucus and business meetings to discuss?
It was tight. I mean, I still feel like a lot of things are kind of unanswered to me, but, you know, it's like, I mean, the earlier you see a draft to work with, because we haven't this year you had to put together a whole new budget essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, by October, you'll have a lot of different information flows in,
Yeah.
where revenues are coming, how we're doing to that. So it really should only be a little bit of a tweak into some of the, I would say 80 or 90% of how we're doing. And then the optional items
Yeah.
come, you know, then we'll know. I mean, here we were basically, someone's gonna discuss later, but it's still, it's in there. You know, we're discussing policy going forward in these budget meetings, basically, because it's not in the budget, it's very hard to put
Right.
into policy. And so, it was too tight this year for me, because I think, you know, I'm not happy with this budget, because I think we need to upgrade this room, the other room, and I think that's the type of
thing you are for
thing.
next year's schedule, actually. So there's a whole activity we didn't have this year, which we did in I would say, a more informal way. But next year we really need to formalize, and that's the capital plan, and have that come through this committee in parallel with the operating budget. Probably sooner, but like
I don't wanna stack them.
not at the same time.
No, that's what I'm saying, that's what I'm
Right,
getting at, is the whole.
right, but I think the whole process for requesting funds and what we're really in that deeper conversation is a longer timeframe, and I agree that we should be starting a little bit sooner, but I agree that upon occasion, when getting it at the meeting and having that discussion and trying to rifle through, it is challenging to get to where you wanna be. I agree with that. So, I would like this committee especially, to come up with, some policy or procedure, whatever you wanna call it, to, protocol, another P word. The, how these requests for dollars are made and what we're really trying to do, what are the goals? Per committee, per council as a whole. those
What we
kinds of
could
things.
do next year, and I'm gonna commit the cardinal sin of management, I'm gonna overpromise, is that we could get something into council's hand at the caucus meeting in October. That gives us one more meeting
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
digest.
Right.
Because you're right, I won't be going through this resurrection
Assembly, yeah.
Yeah.
When
this year.
and
Next year. It's already this year in my head.
you had done a
Told you
good-
that was gonna happen, I warned you.
You did a good overview for the public at a high level and walked us through
Yeah.
the budget a little earlier. I think that meeting, whatever meeting that is, October caucus would be great. Be a good one to do an extended kind of manager's budget review, to talk through, in some detail why things are coming out the way they are. Because that'll be the first time we're doing this budget review chart of council year over year
Yeah.
comparison.
And maybe this is a question for the whole council, would you wanna make room for that? What I mean is, like, I think one of the other things I'd like not to be true in 17 about the budget process is, like, when we have a meeting to talk about the budget, it needs to be the thing we talk about.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if something can be put off, or it's not important, and it can be done some other meeting, some other time, I would love to have a meeting like a caucus meeting, where that's all we talk about.
But I think we should have an additional meeting, I hate to add meetings, but the way to do that is to have an additional meeting, and just that, because other things, as we see, come through, be it the trash contract, all the things we saw that came at us that we needed to respond to, we're gonna have developments, or, we just know that historically.
It's hard to keep a monthly caucus agenda clear.
Yeah.
I think it gets to agenda management and meeting management.
I agree. Well,
It's ideal.
right.
But,
Yeah,
I mean,
it
I
could be
would
the
like,
dream, right,
I keep
right.
saying that to the,
Yeah.
the planning commission, if things come in, questions, they respond, and I guarantee we'll have something we need to respond to, just don't know when it happens.
So, as part of the capital budget, so I'm stacking things back here.
Mhm.
For the operating budget, I have review a draft budget in the October Finance and Administration Committee meeting. And, review the revised budget and make a recommendation in the November meeting. Capital budget. If you wanna have this in position to have that as input, so be able to review the draft, like the first draft in August, and review changes in September. Are we gonna be in a position to do that with the capital plan?
I think so. The capital plan is not gonna be as complex, but it's going to have to be the big and difficult thing about the capital plan is gonna be the assessment part.
That's right.
The hours spent by the professional giving us a reliable estimate. It's not gonna, the hard part's not going to be figuring out what we need to take care of, nor do we have a really large portfolio of assets that we're managing. It's just not a big borough.
Right.
I think it through, I would like to have somebody engaged by the end of the first quarter next year.
And how long of a process do you think that would be for them to go through all the assets of the borough and
Right.
do condition assessments and estimates for?
Well, I'm hoping it can happen in 90 to 100 days.
Okay. Which means that by
And
June to
then you
July.
get to a stage where then you're prioritizing, you're trying to figure out what happens when, what gets put in those out years, what gets put in
Yeah.
the 3-year plan.
Right.
They'll deliver a process to us to be able to do that as we go forward. That's gonna be a big fundamental improvement,
No.
investment.
It's nothing if not entertaining.
Do you think, I'm just trying to step this back from like second draft in September, first draft in August of a capital budget with dollars attached. Do you think you have them in position to be able to review, not just with this committee, but with everybody, like a condition assessment and preliminary estimates by sometime in July? If you started in February?
Yeah, I would hope the process would be well underway by the start of summer. A lot of the homework being done in the second and early third quarter. Well, I picture us to have a much better idea of what things cost and what the priorities should be by the end of the summer.
Okay.
That's good.
All right, what else do we have? So that gets us capital budget, operating budget, auditor,
Trustees.
trustees, and,
Commissions you did.
yes, and that's gonna result, I think what that's gonna result in is in the second half of the year, except for December, there'll be 5 monthly meetings, and there may be 2 other meetings that are really more like full council meetings. One is the budget review, and one is the board and commission reviews. Which,
Typically, when we're consolidating all our day, that's something we need to address.
yeah, that's true. In light, something Sean's talked about. In
Well,
light
that would have to come after the capital plans.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I
Adopted.
thought we were gonna try to take our existing debt that we have going, because he's gonna, so we have 8 different loans out here, how many?
You don't have 8 loans, but we only have really 1 loan that's right for refi.
Yeah, it sounded like the recommendation you were getting back from our lender, at least, was your closing costs
Yeah.
and fees.
Fees.
You should wait until you borrow a big chunk, like
Right.
for, if we wanted to do a lot of that paving next year and have to take out a big general obligation note and or for the bridge beginning of 2018, then you're having enough new borrowings on top of the large note that we'd be refinancing to absorb those fees
Mhm.
and blend down your rate. There are a couple smaller ones we're on the last.
Yeah, the last
monthly payments next
right.
year. It makes sense to
Yeah.
Stuff it over,
start
right.
those over.
Yeah.
And those are, I think, a couple of the higher interest rates, because they're older.
Yeah, we really only have 1 loan with about 810,000 principal outstanding. That's pretty high interest rate by today's standards. It's a 20-year note that was taken out in 02 or 03.
Do you guys know when the downtown redevelopment was done? Is that
99, somewhere around there.
I'm gonna put it in, August as part of, when we review the first draft of the capital budget, also discuss that consolidation, borrowing timing. That leaves us with not a lot in the first half of the year, by the way, on the agenda. I think we've got, a review meeting in January, a discussion of the capital budgeting process in February, nothing in March, pension fund trustees in April, which if we have anything else we can talk about the first half, is just landing on that same meeting. Nothing in May, and just putting the audit contract out for the end of June. Because we're stacked with necessarily things we can advance the ball on.
Right,
Other
from
than-
individual
Our
to
finance and
private.
admin part, there's a lot.
There's a lot there.
It's targeted, I
Right,
mean, the whole HR aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. The handbook is kind of,
So the question is that, what areas that you'll be ready for us to kind of interact with on?
I'd say the March, April, May, June kind of timeframe.
Say the earlier part, 'cause ideally, we'd like to get that stuff done.
Oh, yeah.
But you, the office has requested, an outside expert to
Yeah,
come in and.
but is that expert starting in January, January, March?
No.
No.
What's the target for that? That's what I'm trying to get at.
Probably around the same time that the capital planning person would be, or firm would be starting with us. Probably a 60 to 90 day improvement.
So not until
Right.
June, I mean, not June, April. June. I'm just wondering why wait? Is there heavy workload? We don't have people lined up? Just,
One note has to follow the other. Can't play every note at the same time.
well, that's what I'm not sure. I have no idea what we've got in
Right.
January, February, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
No, we don't have a consultant teed up right now.
Oh, I thought you had somebody.
So we could do a check-in on that when we have a meeting to meet with pension fund trustees in
Right.
April. Cause we should have someone actively working by that point. Might not be done, but
Yeah.
check-in.
Yeah.
Would you just have somebody actively working?
By April, in as our,
HR,
working on a handbook.
working on the handbook at that point, to check
policies,
back in and let us
role
know where we're at.
definitions. They probably have made some progress by then, if there's a chance for us to review.
What's the plan to find somebody, if we don't have somebody lined up this week?
I think that's what you were saying, was 60 to 90 days from.
Yeah.
From
Josh,
what-
the office will
Right,
handle that.
Right.
But just doesn't oversight your office, like, what are you doing in 5 minutes? Where are you referencing when you, find this person?
Through our connections, through advertising, we're gonna procure services.
I didn't, yeah. Direction.
Stacking up there, Charlie.
It is doing that.
I'm looking at it, keeping us busy.
I'm just gonna delete the months of March and May, because it already looks like a lot of meetings.
Can I ask you about something?
Is there a citizen that would like to make a comment?
Yes.
Public comment?
I'm just wondering when the contract with CBIZ is up, because that would have to get, if that's up at the end of next year, you wanna factor in
Yeah.
possibly doing an RFP for that.
That is a good question.
I don't know.
We talked about that a few hundred meetings ago, but I can't remember.
I can't remember
I
either.
can't remember.
Sure, do you know
But it's in
offhand?
some paperwork.
I do not know.
I'll add it to my notes though. That's good thinking.
It's in my paperwork file.
Okay.
Some paperwork again.
So, if you guys think of anything else that we missed, like major topics, especially on the admin side, where we've been, my head's been entirely in the budget for the last couple months. I guess I'll take a stab at cleaning this up and putting it on one page and trying to
Yeah.
put dates next to it, and then get it around to Sean and you guys for thumbs up or thumbs down, just like smack across the face.
Encouraging.
Adjust accordingly, and then we'll actually have agendas for everything next year.
Yep.
Anything else for committee? We're gonna take a break.
Take a break.
Break.
Finished. You have to adjourn us.
We're adjourned from committee meeting.
You don't want to take any public comment?
Any other public
Any other
comment?
public comment?
That's
Rest
a
of
good
public
comment.
who's here.
What's that? Do you have any comment? Oh, I don't think so, no.
Oh, okay. Very well. We are adjourned, and we'll see you guys in